Hi, welcome to Dave's Cooking Show. This is going to be kind of a mini-sode. Um, and it is kind of a kid-friendly one, so I'm not going to have my typical opening, and I'm going to try to get through this without any bleep and swearing. I am going to enjoy a nice, tall, frosty adult beverage. So, yeah, kids, you're too young for this. One of the things that a lot of my friends ask me who have children is, the kids freak out when it's time for the parents to make dinner. And my thought is, well, they just want to help. It's an activity that they want to be a part of because at that age, young kids, they want to be a part of everything that you're doing. Now, of course, a 2-year-old can't exactly be in charge of the grill, and he can't really boil water, but there are things, believe it or not, they can do, even as young as 2. And here's one of them. They can actually be in charge of making their very own desserts. They will need some help, but it'll be minor, and they can feel accomplished, and they can feel like they brought something to the table. So instead of, sending them out of the room or sending them to play, get them started in the kitchen early. And one of the easiest and earliest things that they can do, and this is great if you have a large group of them and you want a cheap activity that they can bring home to their parents, try this one out. It's called a pudding pie. In this bowl, you can kind of see it, I have 2 3/4 cup of milk. And I have 2 boxes of instant pudding and an Oreo pre-made pie crust. I'm going to get the Oreo pie crust out now because once this thing starts heating up, or not heating up, firming up, you want to get it into the pie crust as quickly as possible. And this is nice and safe for kids. It's absolutely no bake. Like I said, when they're 2 and 3, this is something absolutely perfect for them. The only you'll need to help is measuring out the milk and stirring it as towards the end. A sip of my nice adult beverage. And what's great is they can make almost a new one every day of the month because, Jell-O has several flavors, and they're all really, really cheap. Okay, so crack open packet 1. In. And then crack open packet 2. And really any child above the age of 4 should be able to handle this without any real help. If they're under the age of 4, you might need to help them. And then slowly start to stir. You can kind of see it in there. Slowly start to stir until the mixture starts to thicken. If you're over the age of 21, good time to enjoy your beverage. And, I think that's why we're having an issue now with people not cooking as much as they should be because, when they were kids, the parents just kicked them out of the kitchen, didn't bother to teach them anything, didn't bother to give them this love of making food themselves, so they grew up, making everything in the microwave because, oh no, I don't want my 13-year-old kid to be boiling water. I'm serious. I have heard mothers who are in their 50s, who have kids at college, worrying about their sons and daughters making macaroni and cheese for the first time by themselves. If you are over the age of 10 and you cannot make macaroni and cheese by yourself, we have a problem. If it's the deep fryer, sure, they got to be a little older. If it's the grill, sure, they got to be a little older. But really, by 12, they're pretty much fully capable of running everything in the kitchen except maybe a pressure cooker that's cooking with oil. So, yeah, instead of, distracting your kids or having them out of the kitchen, give them jobs. They'll love it. They love doing that stuff. They love helping out. And there's different jobs other than that, too. If they're 1 or if they're 2 and they can't quite stir the pudding, they can add the ingredients. Or, better yet, they can add, like, things to the salad, like the vegetables that you chopped up. It really is, the earlier you get them in the kitchen, the more love of food they'll have, and the more likely they'll be to stay the hell away from things like frozen TV dinners. Okay, it's starting to come together. And I think we're just about ready to pour. Okay. Take your pie crust and douse this in. Don't worry about getting it all even. It'll even itself out in the fridge. Scrape off the excess. And keep in mind, this is a pretty basic recipe. If you want to get a little fancier with it, you can add up crushed Oreos, crushed Chips Ahoy, crushed Fig Newtons. You can cut up some fruit, put it in there. Do whatever you want to do. Get creative with it. Another great thing you should be teaching your kids, how to be creative with food. Don't just follow a recipe. And that's it. Put this in the fridge for a couple of hours, and then it'll be ready, and pudding pie. So the next time you're having an issue with your kid during supper preparation, have him in charge of desserts. That's it for this one.